Hey, what's going on guys? Callum here from Hairy Haggis FPV, and today we're going to be looking at the Sonic Model Mini AR Wing. A couple of you guys have requested the basically the setup that I use in this little wing. It's a 600mm wingspan. It's got a little 1806 2400 kV motor on the back. Comes with a 30 amp ESC with a 2 amp BEC. So that's a 5 volt 2 amp BEC to run your servos, and it also comes with some little 8 gram or 9 gram servos there as well. Great little model, I have to say. I got one for about, I think it was about £46 posted on Banggood just about 3-4 weeks ago. That was on pre-order, and I thought, oh, I quite fancy a new wing, especially one that's going to be quite fast. It looks quite fast, and looking at the flying that I've been doing in previous videos, it's absolutely fantastic. I thoroughly enjoy it, flying it every single day that I can, really, with the weather that we have here. So you'll see the sort of setup I've got just now. There's a couple of antennas sticking out. I've changed the propeller, and I've also got some of the nice decals that come with it on it as well. So you'll see the little antenna poking up that's on the left hand wing, and it's in a sort of clear sort of forever tube, I think they call them, and that's my R9 Mini receiver. That's the antenna for that. So it's 900 megahertz or 868 in the UK, and it's just providing that long range capability for this wing, as well as a sort of reliability, having going out longer distances or flying behind trees or anything like that, and it offers a really good signal strength as well. The other antenna that we've got here in the middle sort of hatch area, I've cut out a little hole, is the whip antenna for the VTX. Now you're probably thinking, oh, it's just a whip antenna, you're not going to get super long range on that. Well, we'll have a look at the VTX inside and you'll see what VTX it is later. But on 200 milliwatt, that's the maximum this VTX can do. I've been out to just over 7 kilometers of range with it, and it's still providing a fantastic reception even at 7 kilometers away on 200 milliwatt. That is having a patch antenna on my goggles, and there was a lot of breakup out at 7 kilometers, but still enough to fly out there and then fly all the way back again. Running the stock servos in this little wing, got it all set up with the little stabilizers on the edge, and that's really about it. So what we'll do next is we'll have a look inside, and I'll move this image up next. So you'll be able to see here exactly what I'm running inside the bay. So the bay is actually quite a reasonable size for this wing. Really happy with it myself. Run into some problems with space, but if you're just running at bare backs and not with a flight controller, you're going to be a-okay, because to be quite honest with you, it's not really a problem at all. So you'll see in here that I've got a flight controller. Looks like I've got a second one up here, but that's actually the Runcam Split 2, the board that comes with that. And we've also got the video transmitter down on the bottom side of this picture, and also the ESC up the back with the GPS on the lid. So this little setup, it's got a Maytech F411 wing board. It offers 2 UARTs, a soft serial. It's got a current sensor built in. It can run, I think it's about 5 or 6 servos on it, an LED strip. So you've really got a lot of opportunity for stuff on that board, and it's also got the OSD as well, on-screen display. You'll see that I do have a couple of capacitors on it. I was having a bit of problem with the Runcam Split, more so in the video feed, the FPV feed, that there was quite a lot of noise coming through, especially from the ESC. And what I've done is I stuck a couple of capacitors on it, and it's a lot smoother now. I was finding it full throttle, or just above half throttle to full, before that the motor and ESC were causing a lot of noise into the video feed, and it was really just causing mayhem, to be quite honest. That I couldn't fly very well at all. So I just had to kick it and return to home, fly it back, and land it. But still perfectly fine. So the Runcam Split 2 is right up in the nose. I've sort of just got this little board just slotted in. There's some little slots inside, and the Runcam Split 2 is obviously in the nose where the camera sits. The board obviously isn't mounted very well. Doesn't really matter. It's not causing any extra vibration or that. The SD card, you can sort of just pull this board out this way, put the SD card in, pop it back in, and it automatically starts recording when I plug the battery in anyway. So it's not like I'm having to hit any buttons. When you disconnect the battery, it saves the file, so it's not too bad there. So that runs off the VBAT and also the camera port or solder point on the flight controller. Next we'll move to the VTX. So it's a VTX 03S, which means it's got smart audio, which is really handy actually, because in iNav especially, I don't know if Betaflight has this or anything yet, but when you're disarmed, it only kick out 25 milliwatt, but when I kick it up to, when I put it into, when I arm it, it'll go straight up to 200 milliwatt, which is fantastic for flying the long ranges that I am with this, or flying behind trees or whatever. So it's still offering that really good reception there, and as I say, with the standard whip antenna, it's working perfectly fine. And that just runs off 5 volts, couple of wires to the PDB and extra ground and whatnot, or to the flight controller, sorry, and it works perfectly fine. Moving on, there's another sort of signal wire and 5 volt and ground that goes to a little LED strip I've got running along the back. It's alright, it's two LEDs. It's got the little ones that you can change in your iNav configurator, so I've got them set as just white just now, perfectly fine. If I'm doing wing chasing or whatnot, it just means that somebody else can see me a little bit easier. On the UART2, I've got the little GPS, I think it's a BN220 from Banggood. Works perfectly fine. You get 7 or 8 satellites within about 30 seconds, so it's really quick, nice and fast for getting those satellites to fly. And so far it's only had one problem, where on the maiden flight I think it didn't get the home point as quick as I would like it to, or it just didn't get the home point at all. I think it was maybe just because it was its first flight, it wasn't calibrated correctly, but it's working perfectly fine now. The ESC's sort of just squished in at the back. I was having a wee bit of problem with video noise when I had an antenna running out the wing before for the video, but I've fixed it back just to the whip antenna now, and it's running perfectly fine. I've got another picture here as well of the inside. That'll give you a slightly better look, only very slightly. A closer up one of just exactly all the bits on the flight controller. So yeah, I've got the S bus running out, or the F port I think it is on the R9 mini receiver. That runs out and under the sort of servo bit into that wing, into the right hand wing, or the left hand if you're looking at the plane, from whatever angle. The USB port is still accessible if I need to change anything on iNav, need to flash a new firmware, or need to check any settings or that, but I've got it set up just now that it's running perfectly fine. And as I say, you'll get a closer look at that Runcam Split 2 board there, and also the little VTX there as well. Currently in this model I'm running a 3S 1500 milliamp an hour LiPo, 75C, and actually this plane on full knacker with all the flight controller, a run cam split, VTX and whatnot, LEDs, it's actually only pulling about 14 to 15 amps maximum, which is perfectly, it's really efficient for a plane. And actually, on a really calm day, I can get this thing cruising at like 3-4 amps, which is just unheard of in a plane like this. But really, just the motor is just so efficient. I have upgraded the propeller to a 50/50 Cyclone bi-blaze. The one that I had before that came with the plane, it was a 50/45 Cyclone, and it was, sorry, it wasn't a Cyclone, it was 50/45, just a standard prop. But it was actually slipping on the motor, which was really strange, and I thought, oh, I'm not going to trust that. So I stuck another propeller on, and actually, on 3S, I've just been over 100 miles per hour with this plane in a light tailwind. So it's performing pretty damn good, I have to say. One of the servos is a little bit jittery, so I might upgrade those to a Metal Gear servo, just to be on the safe side. But currently it's just been fantastic. I've had so many flights with this little wing. It just keeps performing so good, and I really can't fault it at all. The speed is great, the agility is great, the stall characteristics as well are really, I don't know if that's just because I've got a flight controller in it, but they're really, you know about what's about to happen with the plane basically. I've chased a quad around my local flying field. You also see that on my channel, and even though I was going quite slow, I was actually managing to keep him in frame for a little bit. My buddy Derek, so yeah, we were flying perfectly fine, and even at that slow speed, it's still very good. So you can trust it where it's going to go. I've been up really high with it. I've done a bit of cloud surfing. As I say, I've done long range, 7 kilometers. And the wing just keeps going and keeps going, and we're just pushing the limits with this thing. 600mm wingspan. It's very, very small, but it's performing exceptionally well, like its bigger brother, the main the AR wing, not the mini version. So I have to say, it's comparing it to the AR wing. Two of my flying buddies also have an AR wing. Another one's just building one currently, but they're all shocked at the performance of this little wing, that it's performing almost as good as their full size AR wing. It's just unbelievable. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. We'll wrap it up here. I hope you've enjoyed watching and sort of seeing exactly what my setup is in this little plane, and I hope to see you guys next time. Cheers!